Hi guys! We are continuing with our two-step equations. In our first video, I showed you the correct steps to solving a two-step equation. We learned that we should always move our adding and subtracting first, and our multiplying and dividing second. In this video, we're going to find a way to check and see if we got the right answers, or if we need to try the problem again. So here, I have our first example from the first video. And in the first video, I pretty confidently said the answer is x equals 6. Now, what if you're not confident that x equals 6? What if you're not sure that you did the problem correctly? What if you're looking at the answer and you're like, you know what, that just doesn't look right? Well, then we can check our answers. To check your answer, you're going to take the number that you got for your answer and you're going to plug it back into the original problem. It's really important that you're plugging it into the original problem and not into one of the new equations that you created while you were solving. If you plug it into one of the newer equations, you might be skipping the step where you made a mistake, and then you will never know that you made a mistake. So always plug it back into the original question. When we're plugging it in, this is called substitution. I'm going to take out my letter x and I'm going to replace it with the number 6. And so now I have a math statement. I'm hoping it's a true statement. If it is true, that means that I did the problem correctly. But I do want to check. Now, since we are not solving for x, basically what we're going to do is we're going to simplify the left-hand side until it becomes a single number. If we did the problem right, hopefully it will be the number 15. Since we are now simplifying and not solving, we're going to go back to what we learned first chapter, which is PEMDAS. Okay, so I'm going to use PEMDAS to simplify the left-hand side. I'm not going to touch the right-hand side. It's already a single number. In PEMDAS, we start with P for parentheses, but that means do math inside of the parentheses, and there's no math in this parentheses. It's just the number 6. Then I try my exponents, which there are none. Then I move on to my multiplying and dividing. So I'm going to start by multiplying the 2 times the 6. And I finish with my adding and subtracting. And 12 plus 3 does in fact equal 15. Since I get 15 equals 15, I know for a fact I did this right. And 6 is the right answer to this question. Let's check our answer to our second example from the first video. Just make sure that we got that one right as well. And then we'll talk a little bit about why you want to check your answers and when it's really important that you do check your answers. So here was our second question, and I got the answer of y equals 16. And so I'm going to plug the 16 back into the original problem. And again, I'm going to follow my order of operations, which says that first I should do my dividing, and then I should do my subtracting. And 8 minus 3 does in fact equal 5, and so I got this one right as well. Now, we didn't talk about checking answers on yesterday's videos, but you could have checked your answers to yesterday's problems. You just take your answer, you plug it back in, and check and see if it works. Sometimes on these problems, it might seem kind of silly to check your answers, but other times it's going to be really important. So again, if you struggled with solving the problem, if you're not confident that you solved it correctly, check your answer, plug it back in, see if it works. If it was a super complicated problems, we're going to get into problems that take more than 2 steps tomorrow. You know, the more steps there are, the more places there are for you to make a mistake. So it doesn't hurt. If you got extra time, plug in your answer, see if it works. The most important time for you to check your answer is going to be on a quiz or a test. On a quiz or a test, your answers are considered either right or wrong, which means if you get the wrong answer, you lose all the points. So, on a quiz or a test, my suggestion to you is to solve every problem, but don't submit it. After you've solved each problem, go back and check your answers. Once you've plugged your answer back into the equation and confirmed that it is the right answer, then you can type it in as your final answer. If you plug the number into the original equation and it does not work, for instance, if on this problem, if I had gotten 5 equals 11, then I would know that I made a mistake. Then I would go back and retry the problem and check and see, where did I go wrong? What could I have done instead that would hopefully get me the right answer? So, again, on a quiz or a test, since those problems are considered right or wrong, it's important that you check your work before typing in your answer and before submitting your quiz or your test, just to make sure that you are typing in the right answer and you don't get any of those problems wrong. For tonight's homework, I gave you all even problems specifically because the even answers are not in the back of the book. So, what I would like you to do for the second half of tonight's homework, I would like you to take all of the problems that you solved for the first half of the homework and check your answers, see if you got them right or wrong. If you discover that one of your answers is incorrect, then you have time to go back and fix it before turning in your homework. This concludes our second video.